Okay, Cayman, I'm going to do one more example for you. Um, Doing this part here, and then I'm actually going to do one more a little later on doing angled pieces. But let's see if we can do this one. Again, I've never done it before, so it's going to be fairly straightforward for me. So I think I'm going to make sure that, again, my ortho lock down at the bottom here is ortho mode is engaged, so I turn that on so all the lines will be straight. So the first thing I'm going to do is I know that the length of this object, again, we're going to draw the three objects together. So the length of this object is 60. So I'm going to type in 60. And the top of the first part of this is 10. And then I'm going to come back over. I'm going to inference that green box, which is going to put me right that corner. And then I'm going to close it. Okay. Then hit the escape key. So now, oh yeah, actually I did something wrong because the line doesn't go all the way across. It only goes part way across. So if I look at the top, I see that 20. Alright, so I see that 20 at the part of the top of the drawing above. So I'm going to draw a line from that point and then just go 20. And eventually what's going to happen is the circle is going to start. Actually, that's not correct either. Let's do that. Let's go the other direction. Let's go 40 because that's where the circle begins, right at 40. So we're going to go 40. Again, 20 minus 60 minus 20 is 40. And so the circle doesn't, the big circle doesn't start the 40, it's just a 40-inch diameter, which is the same as a 20-inch radius, but it doesn't start until you get up another 10. So if you look at the drawing to the side, you see 20 and 10. So you got to go up 10. So we're going to go up 10. And then we're going to stop right there. So this line on the, I guess I'm going to get rid of this line here. So this line on the side, if you look at the drawing, is actually 30. So you go up and we'll do 30. And then it goes over to the right 10. And eventually what's going to happen is we're going to draw a curve in there, which is, again, we call that a fillet. Down at the other end, let's see. I don't know why we have that. Let me see how long this line is. This is 60 and this one is 40. I think I'm going to draw this over just to make sure this is right. So when I look down here, if I look down here, it says that delta x is 60. So that means I got it correct that this is actually 60. And for this one, it says the delta y is, well, the delta should be 10. You see it down here, delta y equals 10 down here. So that one's right. So now, like I said before, I should be able to go over 40. I probably didn't start at the end point, so I'm going to now go this way, 40. And then I can go up 10. 10 here. 10. And, oops. I'm going to hit escape, and I also need to do 10 at the other end. So line 10. Okay, so it looks like we're so far so good. I think now we need to do the first bigger circle, which is radius. It says diameter when they have a slash through here like this. That means diameter, and then if it says R, that means radius. So radius is half the circle width of the circle, and the diameter is the whole length of the circle. So let's take a look at how we're going to do that. So as I said before, it's important to use temporary lines, and eventually I'll show you how to use construction lines, which is actually up here. But like I said, these are lines. You could always draw more lines than you need and just erase the ones you don't. So just a mindset. It doesn't matter how you get there, it's how you end there. So in order to find the center of that circle, since I know this width between here is 40, and I know the circle's 20, so I need to get halfway somewhere on that line in order to find the middle, and I can do that by going 20 in this direction. Escape. So now that I've done that, then I've actually know where the center, if you look at my arrow pointing at the drawing, I know where the center of this is because it's halfway between that 40. So it's 20 over, and that's it. And then all I got to do is draw a circle from there, and I don't even have to put the I don't even have to put the dimension in because I'm just going to go right to the edge like this, and you could see where it says 20, and you could just hit enter. Well, actually, you could just click right at the end because 20 just clicked. So now we should be able to get rid of. So now we should be able to just go to our modify on our palette on the left, and then we should be able to trim using the trim command, and then we should be able to get rid of some of the circle we don't need. So again, you can always draw more than you need and then end up with less in the long run. So it looks like we're pretty good there. So now we have to draw the inner circle. And on here, if you look to the right, it says it's 20-inch diameter, but we're going to have it's a 10-inch radius, but it's also the same circle as before. So I'm going to go back to my draw command. I'm going to draw a circle, and then I'm going to draw that at 10 because half of 20 is 10. So I can just type in 10. And that should give us a circle like that. So now I could just go ahead and go back to modify and then trim out anything I don't need. So I can trim out this one here and this one here. And now you can see I have that entire circle. All right, so the next thing we want to do is this curve, this radius curve. So the radius curve, we can do this a couple of ways, but probably the best way is I would probably put some additional lines in there just to help us out. So we're going to add some lines there. And we're going to go down 10, and then we're going to go over 10, then we're going to go up 10. And we're going to do that. So this 10 is actually where the radius at the top of this line is where the radius is going to start, and you can see because I'm going to draw a circle starting from that point, and I'm just going to go until it hits 10. You can see how it actually intersects both the top corner and the bottom corner. So you can see why I drew those other lines in. So now I'm going to go back to modify, and I'm going to get rid of some of these. So I'm going to trim, and I'm going to get rid of this top part. Don't need that. Don't need this part. Don't need this anymore. Don't need this anymore. And don't need this anymore. So I'll let you put in the dashed lines yourself. I showed you how to use dashed lines before. So now we're going to draw the top piece. And remember what I said is that you can, we're going to go back to draw here, is you can draw temporary lines to line up everything, because you use the bottom drawing to create the side drawing and the top drawing. So I'm just going to draw a line from that corner up, and I'm going to draw a line from this corner. Because we can always trim them, get rid of them. Going to inference that so that green line tells me it's there. Okay. And I think I'm just going to pick a place where we're going to draw the surface. I'm actually going to draw, this is like a line you don't need. So in terms of, it's just a place to start. But you know right away that it's more lines than you need. So at this point, you can go in and trim some of this off. We know the base is 60. And so if they line up, it's 60. So then we'll go over to modify, and then we'll trim. And we don't need this line anymore, or this line anymore, or this line anymore, or this line anymore. So we're good to go. Now, these two top pieces actually are a little long. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those for now. Delete, because we don't need those. The main thing is we have that 60-foot piece, 60-inch piece that's lined up with the one below. All right, so now let's go back to draw. And the first thing is the oh, pop back on, that's okay. Well, let's try to get rid of that. All right, let's draw again. Oh, that's really odd. Well, we can still use it. So we know it's 40. So we're going to just hit 40. And that should be right there. Let's just trim that off to make sure. So I'm just going to double check this line. I'm going to look down at the bottom, and it says that it's delta y is 40. So that's correct. So we know that's 40 down there. All right, so now we just have to put in the details. So we know that, go back to draw. We know that this first one is 10. So we're going to draw 10, type in the number 10. And there we are right there. And then once we do that, we're going to go this way until you hit that piece there, because that's what happens. Let's do the bottom one. We know that we got to go up. The whole thing is 40. Top one is 10. The next one's 20. And then that means there's 10 left. So we go up 10. And then we go over, they said go over 20. And then go back down. Now, you could see, where does that next line go in here, the one that goes vertical? Well, you can actually remember, if we go back down to that curve and we bring that line all the way up, that's where that line goes. It's actually 10 plus 10. So now we can go back and trim that off, since we don't need that whole line. So now we have that piece in there. If you also notice, this line in the back is actually the line in the back is actually lined up with this corner edge here, so we can actually create another line. Some of these things came in, you know, you could go in and then take your pencil and mark up all the missing dimensions that you don't see. So that's kind of what I kind of recommend, you know, like there's a lot of numbers that seem to be missing, but you can pencil those in paper, and then once you start drawing it, you'll know exactly where they belong. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line straight up from there till I get to the top. Hit escape, and then I can trim off some of that again. Go to modify and trim off. Sometimes these things are a little tricky. Trim that off, and that takes care of that one. And there's some more dotted lines in there. I'll kind of show you how to do that. So I think we've actually finished the top piece. Yeah, that's it for the top. We're just missing the dotted lines, so let's go ahead and put some of those in. And so one of the ways I would do that is, I know that the inner circle is a dashed line that's called, what I called before, is a hidden edge line. So if we go back and draw a line, first of all, I think we'll draw the center line, and then we'll draw a line from, oh, the inner part of the circle. That's right. We want to draw. Well, we want to draw a line that's horizontal, so we know where the tangent point is there. And then we're going to go backwards like that. So that's going to tell us a lot, and you'll see right here. So now that means that line goes all the way up there. And that line goes all the way up there. So now let's go to modify. I'm going to show you a new command too. We're going to trim off this piece, and this piece, and this piece. And we're going to trim off this piece, and this piece, and this piece. So we don't need those. All right, so now we're gonna use this other command called break, and I haven't used this in a long time, so we'll see what happens. So if I hit the line break, you can see what it does is start to detach the line like that. So actually, to get a kind of a dashed line, we're gonna do this really carefully. Hit break. And we hit another break. Break. There you go, like that. So that's how you get that dashed line. Then we'll do the same over here. Hit break. We're going to go up and then hit break again. So that's how we do this dash line. Let's put it in for this one down here at the bottom now. We'll start by drawing a line. And now we'll go ahead and modify that. Hit break. Sometimes you have to hit this thing twice. You can also, if it goes too far, you can also use extend. Now, the reason why I'm having trouble with this is that if you look at the bottom next to our ortho mode, we definitely need that one, but then right next to it is called Snap to Grid. And you sort of don't need that right now. In general, when I work on CAD, I never use this because I'm always have some kind of number that's halfway between the grid or partially through the grid. So I'm going to turn that off. So this will make this a lot easier. So now I'm going to use the extend command. No, let's use the break command again. Break. All right, we're going to start this over again. Oh, there it is. You can see it. But we're going to do this again first. All right, let's draw the line over again. Sometimes we have to go ahead and just, sometimes it's not straightforward. You have to keep doing it until you get it right. So there's our one line. Now let's go into modify, and then we're going to break the line. There it goes. There it is. Break. You have to hit break each time. There it is right there. Okay, now what I can do, oh, we got to do this for the one below. So let's break. Yeah, sometimes you have to zoom in more. So we're going to hit break again. Hit break again. There you go. That's good enough. So now we have that, all that done. Now let's do the side piece. So I know that this line, I'm going to need this line to go sideways. And some of the lines I already know. So I know that line is, I need that line. I'm going to inference the bottom of that. And I know that line's going to come down somewhere, so I guess we could start here. And that's 10. We know that's 10. So to go all the way to the top of the circle, we need to go up, we really need to go up is this the same as this length here. So if you find yourself right at the top of that circle and you drew a line all the way across and inference down to the end here, oops, let's do this again, and go all the way across, inference down to the line, see the green line, then hit that, and then come down, then we have the back edge. So this is a way to draw without always putting the dimensions, because everything is related to each other. You just have to find where it's related. All right, so now I just need to come over 10. Okay, I need to come over 10. And that takes care of that piece. All right, then the bottom, the side of the piece, if you look up at the top, it's 40 wide. So that's how wide this piece is, because if you turn the piece around like that, that's what it would look like. So we could start by drawing a line that's 40 from this edge and type in 40. So just to know where that line is, not hidden. You know, where is that 40 inch? Like, where is it? You see that green cross there? That's where it is. And as soon as you lock onto that, it'll say 0, 0. So that means that's where the 40 is. Now let's get rid of the rest of these lines. These couple of lines, we don't need them. So we'll get rid of those. So we'll hit trim. And we'll get rid of that one. Get rid of that one because we don't need it. I think we don't need the top one anymore either. So let's get rid of that one. Now watch how I'm just pulling lines from the side here. Go back to draw. And we know that this line, the center line, is important to us. So we'll just pull that one through. We know that the top line is important to the top of the inside of the circle. Oops, let's see. That's important. And we'll put a dash line at the other one. So now this is easy because we know at the edge it says, if we go over there, it says 20, really just 10 and 10 above. So I can do that really easy by just going up 10, which as you can see is 10 there, and going up 10 more. You see 10 more, and then going over 10, so I have to type in 10 now. See where it says 0, 0, so that's where 10 is, and then draw backwards to that. So now that's easy, so we didn't have to put a lot of dimensions in. So we can go to modify, and then we'll do a trim. And we can get rid of some of these lines. Get rid of this extra line back there. We don't need this one. This is going to be a dash line. Well, not exactly. So now we have that. So, alright, so we have a couple of dash lines in here. So we're going to go back to our break command. We're going to modify and do break. And we're just going to go here. Okay, this is actually better with the grid line on. We'll see. Let's see if this works better this way. Yeah, you got to fool around with this. Break. Yeah, I guess you leave the grid on because it's actually, it'll stop at each one of those spaces. Okay, and then the one at the bottom is the same. We have to zoom in. Alright, that's good enough. So this one in the middle is a center line, we call it. So I'll just, I'm going to show you how to use center line. So for now, we're just going to delete it, and I'll have to show you how to create a center line using your layers command and everything like that. So, so we don't need that one. We don't need that more anymore. We don't need that or that or that. So that's it. We got it. So that'll get us through, and then I'll start showing you more about layers and how to create line types, and then we'll go from there. So I'll give your next assignment, I believe, is going to be I'll email you and let you know which ones. This one is actually number 7, so we've already done number 7. So I'll let you know what the next one is. So you'll have this one, and then you'll have this one, and then we'll be good to go. All right, thanks.